Ever wanted an apology from Rian Johnson for making Last Jedi? Well, to be honest, controversial opinion, I liked the movie. And you want to see Captain America break his one rule, and you have Daniel Craig doing anything that isn't James Bond. Well, the trailer's going to be released any day now, apparently. Here it is, it's Knives Out. Hello, my name is Elijah Wells, and today's review is Knives Out. The movie, directed by Rian Johnson, is about Harold after he meticulously committed suicide. A detective is sent in to see who's done it, and finds out a lot of entrails that happened, like a lot of fallouts in the party, which led to Chris Evans storming out, and led to Michael Shannon pretty annoyed that the film's rights weren't being sold. Then, all of a sudden, there's one girl who has vomiting fits if she lies, which is basically Ellen Enchanted but more gross out humour. Pretty much he gets sidelined with the Daniel Craig's character, who's a detective in the movie, and they must find out who killed Christopher Plummer's character. This movie, even though I'm a person that liked Last Jedi, this movie is kind of an upgrade for Rian Johnson movies. Yeah, particularly what I liked about it is its set design, particularly where there's this massive decoration filled with knives in it. It kind of looks reminiscent to the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones, if you can say. And also the costume design of Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Linda, where it's somewhat like pinky, like a lot of pink, like a lot of flares in that. Kind of reminiscent to like something from the 70s, like Sween 70s. And also I really liked the character of Marta, or the girl that vomits every time she lies, basically Ellen Enchanted with more gross out humour. I felt like, yes, this is the kind of relatable character. Basically, before Christopher Plummer's suicide, Christopher Plummer's character's suicide, she was his personal nurse, coincidentally. And of course, after a medical debacle, she panicked, and guess what? Christopher Plummer, also known as Harlan, guess what Harlan gives? A very long and drawn out instructions of basically saying, how do you get in and out of my building? Well, it gets a lot more meticulous and gets more elaborate when it comes to Yen, and I'm like, oh, he did plan this out at the end. I also liked how Daniel Craig did this like southern accent, like, I have eliminated no suspects, like this really weird American accent. It's on a level weird that I really liked it somehow. I also liked his performance, like, yeah. And also he doesn't act casual when he finds a bit of clue, like, what is this? And also when someone accidentally treads on mud footprints, like, don't you? No. He kind of acts it really cool. And also, I really like Chris Evans' performance as Hugh Drysdale, who basically plays his Harlan's really fratty grandson, and also insults anyone in the room that displeases him, and also hangs out with Martha, and also to get truth, or what's happening, particularly on his end. What I kind of like the ideas of this movie is kind of like from John Peele's Us. It's kind of the idea of the class system and privileges. Like, there's the real estate, there's the household rights, of course, and there's heritage rights, and there's what's going to be on Harlan's will, and who's going to inherit who. Like, he is like worth millions and millions of pounds. Like, one owns a real estate company, and of course one goes to a very posh school, and one, although the entire family is rich, the main character Martha, it works in this like middle kind of lowish class family where she's basically Christopher Plummer's medical doctor, and they literally panic when they found out the entire estate's given to her. And that's the movie that really flipped everything, where panic, Harlan gives his entire estate and all of his will and all his inheritance to her nurse, which greatly angered the family, and she had to run away for a little while. I feel like I kind of like that twist as well, like, no one acted like casually, like, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? and people got really confrontational to her and all that. Outside the great set design and costume work, I really liked its editing and how it's done for gags, especially when the ES by Chris Evans. I feel like this editing gets better when everyone gets really, really aggro. Like, don't you say that, everyone, mate. And everyone throws fits because he said it. And one last thing, the directing and writing of Rian Johnson is really good. I feel like there was a lot of sharp and witty dialogue, particularly of like 60s movies, but a lot more edge. Like, he was inspired by a lot of whodunit movies. Like, it's basically like the Clue video, like the Cluedo board games and Pink Panther. But it kind of has more edge, a bit more grown up, a bit more mature at best. But I can say it has a unique style to it, kind of like a Wes Anderson movie, but with a less symmetry and less stage settings and less OCD. Knives Out is a very intriguing movie with some beautiful costumes and some really intriguing sets and some great writing and great directing by Rian Johnson, brilliant acting by Chris Evans and Jamie Lee Curtis and Chris Evans and that lady that throws up every time she lies. I felt like the humour was really better than what I initially come to expect. But all in all, it doesn't take the genius. Wow, I really like this movie. This movie is a solid 8 out of 10. This movie is so feel good that I wish Rian Johnson can hear me. Hi Rian Johnson, I like that movie. Bye. And this is Elijah Wells and bye.